Podcast. Thank you for joining us. I'm Gavin Snow.
And I'm Matthew Small.
And we're live from the Western Union Cable Building, the election headquarters for the 2017 Bay Roberts municipal election.
This election will determine the 18th Town Council for Bay Roberts. We'll be bringing you the results as soon as they become available.
The polls are now closed and results will follow shortly after. But first off, let's introduce our candidates running for the election.
Running for councilor, we have Silas Badcock,
Danny Butler,
Jake Collins,
Charlene Daw Roach,
Frank Deering,
Gerald Fenmore,
Jim Francis,
Dean Franey,
Travis Howell,
James Murphy,
Wade Oates,
Jeff Seymour,
and Walter Yetman.
And for mayor, we have George Simmons
and Philip Wood. Now, tonight we're definitely going to have two new councilors no matter what, because former councilor Bill Seymour retired. And George Simmons is now running for mayor, so that's two councilor seats that are free.
Yes, and it's also possible that we may have a new mayor elected.
Yes,
so
this is going to be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, last year, last election, Councilor Seymour had 1,079 votes, so this year any councilor is going to need at least 1,000 votes to get in.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yep. So I guess you could say the pressure is on for all the candidates, but yep, it's always good to see so many people running, always good to see, so many people that would like to help out the community of Bay Roberts. And yeah, the campaigns have been huge this year, absolutely.
Yes, true. And later on tonight, we're going to have former mayor, deputy mayor, and former councilor Glenn Littlejohn joining us for a few questions on this year's election. So,
yes, absolutely. So, yeah, like I said, campaigns have been huge this year, haven't they?
Oh, yes, guaranteed.
Absolutely.
You see the signs on the highways. And
yep, but yep. Well, stay tuned. We're going to take a little break now, and soon we'll have Mr. Glenn Littlejohn joining us.
Now, this election's been very interesting. We've had effort from all candidates to meet more people at more times. They've been knocking on doors day and night, so it's been very interesting.
Yes, absolutely. It's very important to have a very concentrated effort of all the candidates running. You know, getting to know the people in the community is very important, especially when running the election. You know, people like to get to know, you know, who they're voting for, and you know, get to really, you know, meet these people, and it's important because you know it helps make a good first impression. You know?
Yeah, you want to make a nice lasting impression and make a very good impression on the person who you want them to vote for you. So
Absolutely, yeah.
we've had very, very good, consistent turnout at the polls all day, especially around the supper hour. But that's a regular occurrence there.
And yep, in the advanced poll, there was 498 people who participate in that, so
It's the,
good numbers.
That's the largest advanced poll turnout ever. So that might be a good show that they want change in the community.
Yep, it's fantastic. And also, we were talking earlier about how the campaign has changed and the concentrated effort. The candidates have also made an effort to use social media to get the word out, you know,
Yes.
and the possible changes that may happen. And it's always good, you know, because nowadays people use social media more, but it's always good to, like you said, to have that connection, the personal connection that doesn't contain, you know, online stuff. And
Yeah.
absolutely, it's good to know the people personally.
Yeah, and you'll get lots and lots of feedback from being online because people just love to see you being active online and answering
Absolutely.
questions.
Yep,
and-
definitely this day and generation.
Yes,
Yes,
it's
that's
very
always
popular.
good. Yeah.
And it's nice to know your candidate well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Yes,
it's always nice to know your candidate and get real close and know who you're voting for. You know, it's always good.
Yeah. It's always nice because if people go back to talk to these people, then you'll love the candidate. So.
And change will definitely be happening in the near future. But anyways, that's about it for now. We'll be back in a few more minutes. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Gentlemen, back here with the live stream for the 2017 election. Well, yes, it's been great so far. Before we had a little break there, Matthew, we were talking about the how good the campaign's been going and how active the candidates have been. And there's definitely a large difference between the younger generation, the older generation, of course. With the younger generation, absolutely, it's very important to be very active on social media, you know, Twitter, Facebook, what have you. And definitely, it's very good to get the word out because, of course, the younger generation is very active on that as well. But
And sometimes the older generation might prefer the traditional knock on the door, how you doing, and but versus the younger will like prefer to see them on social media because they all connect in different ways.
and definitely, yep. And sometimes, you know, the younger generation may not be as active, but with the older generation, definitely with that sort of method, knocking on doors, the people can express and definitely tell the candidates their concerns or what they would be able to do if they are elected.
Yes, but of course there's rules for them, and all the candidates might not be able to keep those promises, but
Yes, but
they're going to do as much as they can.
definitely as much as they can. Yes, absolutely. And it's important to for the candidates to definitely know what they would like to see in the community, what the community would like to see. You know, the concerns and changes. Absolutely.
Yes, and I'm sure we'll get lots of that because there are roughly 4,500 eligible voters for this year's election, so this ought to be a very good turnout.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yep.
Yep, and people have the option of voting for one mayor and up to 6 councilors. So if you want to pick your favorites, you can.
Well, yes, and of course we'll have the first results in around 15 to 20 minutes from now.
Yes, and before we do that, we have Mr. Glenn Littlejohn, former mayor, deputy mayor, and councilor here for.
Hi guys, nice to be with you.
Yes, great to have you here this evening.
Good. And we've got a good election campaign going on, guys, and you've done a great job so far.
Thank you.
So I want to congratulate you on that. But again, this is a very anxious time for candidates. It's been a long campaign. Some of our candidates have been out now for, probably for over 6 weeks, knocking on doors, doing pamphlets, doing what they need to do to get their message out to get elected. And you know, as the first results, and we all await the first results here tonight, it's a nervous time for the candidates because they're anxious to see how they've made out in the last 4 weeks.
Yes.
Absolutely, yes.
I see you were on council for a very long time. So what kind of challenges do you think that the councilors might face in the coming future?
Well, there's always the challenge. It's the infrastructure challenge, Matthew. You know, when you go around town, there's always the infrastructure challenge. Roads, water and sewer are traditionally important to most everyone. And anyone who comes forward and gets elected to council, there will certainly be those issues. As well, the issue of wastewater management. The federal government is coming in with new regulations, and the way you treat wastewater in the province, and how they're going to deal with that, and that's a very expensive item. So this council will have to look at that issue as well.
Yes.
Absolutely. And what are your opinions and thoughts on this year's campaign?
You know, guys, this campaign has been very intense. I can remember not so long ago when I first ran, you had a few signs, you had a call team, there was very little knocking on doors, and you got out there and did the best you can with very limited resources. But this campaign, there's been very active candidates on social media. There's been many brochures out. Candidates have been out knocking on doors. I talked to a couple of candidates this week, and the one candidate said he had knocked on 1,600 doors in the town.
Wow.
And another candidate said he had knocked on 1,500 doors. So they've been out there trying to go door to door, get their message out. And people want to see that effort.
Yeah.
If they're going to elect somebody, they want to know that person is serious and you're going to have that effort.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, because you'll want to know who you're voting for.
Absolutely.
So what do you think the candidates should be looking for in the early stage of polling?
Well, you know, I'm sure of all the candidates that ran tonight, the 13 council candidates and the 2 mayors, one of the things you always look for is your base of support. And with all these candidates tonight, they've identified an area of the community where they would have their base of support. And as you mentioned earlier in the program, Matthew, we think tonight that if you want to be elected to council, the councilors are going to need at least 1,000 votes. So you need a good, solid base of support, and then it becomes voting pattern. When people go to the polls, some councilors would like to have just their vote, because if you can get 50 people to just vote for you, that's very, very important, because that's 50 votes just for you. So
Yes.
all of a sudden, nobody else got a vote, and you've got 50. But traditionally, most people vote for 3 to 5 candidates. Some people go in and they're allowed to vote for 6. They're going to vote for 6. And, when you get down to it, I may not be your first choice, Matthew, but I might be your 6th choice. And that 6th choice is as good as the first choice. All I want is the X.
Yes.
And candidates are out there looking for that X, whether it be the first X or the 6th X.
So, what do you think they've been up to with trying to find out what the people want?
Well, you find that out by the door knocking. You also find it by going around to the various coffee shops and talking to people on the street. And one of the things that you find out very quickly is when you get out on the street and you talk to people on an individual basis, you will find out what they expect of you. And then it's trying to put yourself or position yourself that you can do and meet the expectations of those individuals. And people are looking for people who are going to give a sincere effort. And they're looking for a counselor that they know if they pick up the phone and call them, that they're going to get a return call. And they know if meet them on the street, they're going to have a conversation. And individuals out there tonight, they've all worked very hard. This has been a pretty intense campaign, probably one of the most intense campaigns that I've ever experienced in this town. And the 13 individuals that ran for council should be commended because they've done a really good job.
Yes, I completely agree with that. Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for coming in and answering our questions.
Yes, and giving us your time.
Not a problem, and we'll be around for the first results. And as the results come in, it'll be interesting as the results come in because trends will develop. And we will probably see very early on as we go through the results tonight of the trends developing and seeing what candidates are going to become the next council of Bay Arbors.
Yes, and we'll have you back for more questions on that.
Great.
Yes,
Thank you,
absolutely.
guys.
Well, thank you very much for joining us this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, the competition is absolutely fantastic tonight. A lot of good candidates running, and
We'll be back very soon for more coverage on the
Yes, absolutely.
2017 Bay Arbors election.
stay tuned. to the live stream of the Bay Roberts election in 2017. A few moments ago, we were talking with Mr. Littlejohn and his opinions on the current state of the election this year and the campaign. Yes, absolutely.
Now, the mayoral race has been very good. The mayors that are running wish to go around and knock on doors and ask people what they want, and they're doing a very good job of going around and making sure that the people's voices are heard.
Yes, absolutely, and definitely candidates' primary concern is hearing the community's opinion, you know, what they think should be done, and that's definitely important, is getting in touch with the community and getting to know, you know, the people who live around the area. That's very important.
Yes,
Yeah.
because you don't want to know what your people want, and you'll
Yeah,
bring those issues to council. So.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now we'll bring in again Mr. Glenn Littlejohn, former mayor, deputy mayor, and councillor, and we'll get his opinion on the mayoral race.
Welcome back, Mr. Littlejohn.
Thank you, Gavin. Thank you, Matthew. The mayoral race this time, most people, the word on the street, it's probably going to be a very tight race tonight. And, you know, both candidates have been working extremely hard. Mayor Wood is the incumbent, and Mayor Wood has been the mayor now for 6 years. And Mayor Wood has been out working extremely hard, and Councillor Simmons has been running a hard campaign as well. And you know, you get the two camps, and when you talk to the different camps, if you talk to Mayor Wood's camp, well, you know, we're going to win by a landslide, and you talk to Councillor Simmons' camp, we're going to win from a landslide. But the general consensus is that the race for mayor this evening will be fairly close. Both individuals have been working very hard and working on a campaign of honesty and transparency and integrity. And you know, it's probably going to come down to who's knocked the most doors and who's got the most influence in the end of the day. But some of the things you're going to look for is in the early results, particularly with both individuals living in the town of Bay Roberts proper, should I say. It'll be interesting to see some of the early results in Shearstown, Butlerville, and in Coley's Point, and where those votes go, because that may, in the end of the day tonight, determine who the mayor is.
Yes, sir. And you want to make a nice, good, lasting impression on your voters.
Yeah.
You do, and both candidates have knocked a lot of doors. The two mayors have been out. Two mayoral candidates have been out working very hard, and I'll be looking tonight to see particularly how they do in certain areas of the town, and I think those trends will probably lead me to say to you later on down the road who I think will be the mayor-elect in the town of Bay Roberts tonight.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to go for another quick break there now, and we'll be back for more coverage on the 2017 Bay Roberts election.
Don't go away. ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the live stream of the Bay Roberts election in 2017.
Now, our advance polls took place this past Saturday on the 23rd, and it was the highest voting numbers that Bay Roberts has seen in a very, very long time.
Yes, as previously mentioned, there was 498 people who participated in the advance poll.
Yes, yes.
So
And, this year, of course, there's been an increase in the number of candidates that are running. I believe last election, there was 10 candidates, and now this year there's 13. So it makes a very tight, very interesting race.
And of course, it's always nice to see new people who would like to get in with the election and do the best they can to help out with the community, of course.
Yes, helping the community is always great. Here with us again, we have former mayor, deputy mayor, and councillor Leonard Littlejohn again to talk about the advance polling.
Well, you know, as you said earlier, Matthew, the advance poll is the largest advance poll ever, 498 votes. And that could mean a couple of things. It could mean, you know, we're going to have a large voter turnout tonight. And large voter turnout sometimes is a signal for change in the community. So maybe the significant number of advance poll voters says that they are not satisfied and they may be wanting change. Or it just may say that because of the intense campaigns that we talked about that all candidates have been running this time, has piqued the interest of people, and people have taken made a concerted effort to get out and vote today. So we'll see where that goes as it goes along. But normally when you see high advance polls, it usually signals change, and that may be concerning for some of the incumbents tonight.
Yes.
Some of the incumbent councillors. As you also said earlier, we're going to have at least 2 new councillors. Because Councillor Simmons is running for mayor, and because of the retirement of Councillor Seymour, we will have 2 new councillors tonight. But there are 4 incumbents running tonight. There is Deputy Mayor Yetman, Councillor Franey, Councillor Oates, and Councillor Dar Roach. And they have run very intense campaigns looking to get re-elected. And again, with high voter turnouts, they may be a little bit nervous tonight because that might signal change, and maybe their seats are at risk.
Yes, I'm sure it'll be a very tight race tonight.
Absolutely.
I think so. I think it's going to come down to the last number of polls, and we're going to be in for probably a long night. And it's been nice. We were talking off air about the new candidates this time. You know,
yes.
new candidates coming forward and putting their name on the ballot for the first time, and that takes a lot.
Yes,
you know,
yes,
it takes a lot to put your foot in the water. Running for council or running for any elected office today puts you and your family under a great deal of scrutiny.
Yes.
And anybody who's decided to put their name on the ballot tonight needs to be congratulated.
Absolutely, yeah. It takes a
guaranteed.
lot of courage to definitely do something like that.
Yeah.
It does, Gavin, and you know, it changes. The expectation and how you're seen around the community and all the rest. When you're a councillor, it's a 24/7, 365 job, and you know, you don't get many breaks.
No, no, because
Absolutely.
people could be calling you late at night wondering how the roads are being
Absolutely,
done.
yep. Around 3 in the morning, you know, people have concerns, you know.
Yes.
You know, I've told the story many times about a particular lady. And every time we'd have a snowstorm, first snowstorm of the year, this particular lady would call and say, I'm stuck. And you wonder why she was always stuck in the same place. But the point is that lady called, she worked night shift. It was late at night. We had our plows all off the road. It was a stormy night. But we had to send the plow out to go dig that lady out. We can't leave her out there.
No.
So councillors get that on a not a regular basis, but those calls do happen. And then there's the flooding. You have storms and flooding and basements flooding, and councillors get calls and people are looking for help. So councillors are on 365, 24/7. And like I said, for anybody who puts their name on the ballot, congratulations to them.
Yes,
Absolutely,
certainly.
yeah.
And guys, I guess we're expecting results pretty soon.
Absolutely,
yes, in
yep.
about, 10-15 minutes or so.
Absolutely, yep.
And
Advance polls, for sure.
And are you anxious to see your first results? I'll do a little bit of interviewing here now while we're doing this.
Yeah, the roles have reversed.
Yeah, we'll
yeah.
reverse the roles just a little bit here. So are you anxious to see your first results come in?
Oh, absolutely,
yes.
yeah. It's always a great deal of suspense, absolutely, to see, you know, which one of these candidates, you know, will be selected. You know, it's always important, and it's always important important for the community to make sure they can have the best person possible.
Are you as nervous as the candidates tonight, Gavin?
No, I don't say he is.
No, not too bad at all. No.
No? Well, guys, as we go through this tonight and we get some numbers, at least when we start to get poll results, we'll be able to talk about numbers and what the expected number will be. And early on, we may get some trends and find out what the race is going to be. But there's been a lot of excitement out in the town over the last number of days. And there's been a lot of councillors or potential councillors campaigning very hard for the support of the people. So it'll be nice to get some results in the very near future.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I'm sure the councillors are looking forward to getting the results just as much as the voters are.
Well,
Absolutely.
if our Twitter and text and all the rest are any indication, they're anxiously awaiting the results. And I want to thank the behind the scenes people. I think we should give a shout out.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Yep, they're the people that make sure everything runs smoothly and effectively, and make sure we can put out the best show possible we can for the community.
And Gavin, what are we watching?
What are we watching?
What are we watching?
We're watching the 2017 live stream of the Bay Roberts election.
And we will be back in a couple of minutes.
Yes, so stay tuned. Don't go away. Welcome back to the live stream of the 2017 election of Bay Roberts. And we had a little bit of issues. We're trying to get the results in as soon as possible, but it's taking a little bit. But probably most likely because this is one of the biggest turnouts ever this year. Any opinions on that, Mr. Littlejohn?
Well, it looks like it's been a large voter turnout, and probably that's the delay in us getting any poll results. We were just talking to some people outside, and they said that the turnout today has been fairly large, and maybe that's the reason we've been waiting a little bit longer for results tonight. So that's always a good sign. It's great that people were interested and got out. And as I said earlier, sometimes that could indicate change. But we're going to find out as the night goes on, Gavin.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes, of course, because there's 3 new candidates since last election. It's going to increase the amount of candidates.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've got 13 candidates running, an increase, and it's always good to see new candidates come forward. And with the increase in candidates gives people increased choice. And sometimes because of the larger field of candidates, that brings out more people to vote because family and friends want to go out and support their candidate and that type of thing. And when you have more people out there going door to door and touching base with people, that sometimes increases the voter turnout as well.
Absolutely. And
yes, earlier you said that there's a guarantee that we're going to have at least 2 new councillors.
There's a guarantee tonight that we're going to have at least 2 new councillors, with Councillor Simmons running for mayor, and the retirement of Councillor Bill Seymour after 24 years. We are guaranteed tonight to have at least 2 new councillors sitting at the table. And of course, the 4 incumbents are all seeking re-election, and that makes for an interesting evening. But change is always good. In the years that I sat on council, in the 4 terms that I served here in the town, it was only the last term that the full council, councillors and mayor all got re-elected. But it's always nice to have that new face. It brings energy to the table. It brings new perspective. And anytime you can open up a seat and a new person, a new individual can come and sit in that seat, brings energy and perspective. And it's always good for the town and for its citizens.
Yes, and you also said it's also possible that we might have a new mayor tonight.
Anytime you have a mayoral election, it's always possible. The incumbent, Mayor Wood, has been in the seat for 6 years, and he's being challenged tonight by Councillor George Simmons. And they both ran very intense campaigns, and they've both worked very hard to talk to as many citizens as possible. And we could be in for a close race for mayor tonight.
Yes,
absolutely.
The word on the street says it could be close. If you talk to the camps, both camps feel very good about their chances. So usually when that happens, that means we could have a very close race tonight.
Yes, and you said we were going to need at least 1,000 votes for a candidate to get in office.
Traditionally here in the town of Bay Roberts, if you're going to become a councillor, the benchmark is 1,000 votes. And I had a number of these candidates over the years, and some of the new ones this year, come and ask me, what do you need? And I always said you got to shoot for 1,000. And if you get 1,000 votes, I think you get a seat around the table. If you get less than 1,000 votes, and particularly tonight, where we're getting the word that there is a larger turnout than possibly other years, 1,000 votes may be the minimum that you're going to need.
Yep. Yes, of course.
And as we stay there, guys, we're still waiting for those first results. We know ballots are being counted.
Absolutely.
We're hoping that we're going to have some results in the very, very near future. I've got what? Gavin, what time do you have? I've got about 8 minutes to 9.
Yep,
Yep,
close
that's about
enough.
right.
Yep.
So we're expecting results very shortly here in the town office, and once we have those results, we will be bringing them to you live. And this is Bay Roberts election 2017. And Gavin, what do you say?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the 2017 election, our live stream here this evening. The results will be in very shortly. I know we're keeping you all out there in suspense, but you know, that's good a little bit. I guess really, you know, heightens your adrenaline, which is good.
Certainly, Gavin. Now, we want to just put out a thanks to people that are all watching us. We're getting texts from people in Ottawa, people in Bombay, and all over Newfoundland.
Absolutely, yeah.
Watch us, and I must say, if you want to come go for a nice little stroll, Bay Roberts is the perfect place to do that.
Absolutely,
right, Gavin?
absolutely. When we get those new candidates elected, you know, hopefully it'll be even better, you know?
Oh, yes, certainly. Now, all these texts coming in from all these different places, got lots of people watching us, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It's always good to have a multitude, you know, in province, and we've had texts from Ottawa, and it's always good to have people out of province, you know, who are interested in this election, which is always good. It's always good to have a nice fair amount of people from the community, you know, taking interest in the election, because definitely you want a big interest in that.
Very true, very true. And we'll have our results shortly for the advanced polls and maybe even some regular polls. So we'll be right back with that. And you're watching the 2017 election of Bay Roberts.
Absolutely.
Stay tuned.
We'll have those results for you shortly.
Three, two, one.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Gavin Snow. We're back again. My partner in crime is just taking a little break at the moment. But before we get those results, and believe me, they are coming very, very soon, we would just like to point out a few little advertisements before we get those results. And it is the perfect time to fall in love with Bay Roberts from September 15th to November 12th. Enjoy so many unique fall activities, from the Toutons and Tunes walking tour to the NL Barbecue Chef Challenge, and everything in between. For this complete information, please visit bayroberts.com. And now we'll have come back into the shot Mr. Glenn Littlejohn.
Yeah, Gavin, we're anxiously awaiting, and I'm sure that all the audience out there is anxiously awaiting those first results. We've heard that there's a big turnout today,
Absolutely, yeah.
and with big turnouts, it takes a little bit of time, and we're getting shout-outs all over the province, and
Absolutely.
even from the mainland. So you're becoming a real superstar here.
I'll
tonight.
tell you, huh?
What?
Big break.
Yeah, I tell you, never know where you could end up before this is all over.
Absolutely, yep.
And but no, we've had a great field of candidates. It's been a great campaign, Gavin. And as we go forward tonight, I think we're going to see a very close race for the councillor positions and also for the mayor's position. The voter turnout has been strong, and we continue to hear that that it's taking some time to count the ballots. We know that the ballots are being counted, and as soon as the results come, we're going to get them to the people, aren't we?
Absolutely, we're going to get them right to you, and hopefully we'll have those results shortly. We know you people out there are anxious, and we promise you soon those results will be directly to you, and we'll have all the news, and we'll have Mr. Littlejohn back on those results. And so thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. We shall be back in a short little bit once my partner in crime returns. Again, Mr. Lojan, thank you for talking with us again. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And as I said, stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the live stream of the 2017 election in Bay Roberts. We know you're all eager out there for those results. You're sitting there in front of your phone, your computer screen. Where are those results? Believe me, they're coming as soon as we can get them to you.
If you like the nice traditional grid of the results, you can just scroll down below this video. There should be a link below it.
Absolutely, scroll down beneath the live stream. But as previously mentioned, I talked about our various sponsors and advertisements. Again, from September 15th to November the 12th, there will be various activities going on in Bay Roberts, such as Toutons and Tunes as the NL Barbecue Chef Challenge, and of course...
who doesn't love a bit of little barbecue, huh?
I'll tell you, absolutely fantastic. But it's always good to see the community so active, you know, getting the community involved in different events that they have, which is always good. And hopefully when we get our new candidates elected, the results, hopefully we'll have definitely more things like that to get the community involved, because it's always important to...
Everybody loves some little activities.
Absolutely, yep, little
right?
things, absolutely, yep, just to get out of the house for a little bit, but absolutely, yep.
Yes, of course.
And we have, again, so many candidates running, and it's always good to see as Mr. Littlejohn mentioned, new faces and some familiar faces, but yeah, definitely a tough competition, but a definitely prosperous one.
Yes, and we'll be back soon enough with your results.
Please stay tuned.
Two, one.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back again to the live stream of the election 2017 here in Bay Roberts.
We got your live coverage right here, and this year there's definitely going to be 2 new counselors guaranteed.
Yes, just for those of you who are just tuning in now, some information that we have here, just for those of you who are tuning in now.
This is because Councilor Bill Seymour has retired, and George Simmons is now running for mayor, so it's ought to be very interesting.
Absolutely, and as we said, there were about 498 people who participated in the advance poll, and the voting took place this past Saturday on the 23rd. And definitely, as we said, a huge mixture of the older and the younger generation who have taken part in the election this year.
Yes, that's because the councilors are now getting more involved with social media and knocking on doors, so that mixes the younger and the older together.
Yeah, definitely to get more people involved.
yeah.
Absolutely, yep. And as we said, there's people can vote to up to there's 6 councilors, and it's definitely also possible that we're going to have a new mayor as well this year.
That would be very interesting. So.
And there's definitely been a good turnout this year.
Guaranteed. There was 498 at the advanced polls.
Yeah, absolutely, as
that's
previously
the largest
mentioned.
we've ever seen.
Yep, definitely, and it's always good because the people who are involved in the election are taking time off work to make sure they talk to all the people in the community, you know, find out what they would like done, you know, their concerns, and what kind of people they'd like to see in the council.
Yes, and it's been very busy at the polls all day.
Absolutely.
The polls are now closed, but it was a big spike around supper time there. Although
Definitely. But yes, there was a huge concentrated effort, as we said, to get the word out, the various people, and just the various things they'd like to offer. And it's always good to make sure we have people who can keep promises. You know, it's always good to have I think that's what people would like to see in a either a councillor or a mayor, is someone who's honest, someone who's willing to, you know, do anything they can for the community, and that's always important.
Yes, and some you might even have some go beyond the call, because some people might call them late at night at around 3 o'clock.
Absolutely, yep, because it all depends on the public, really. You know, there's some people, for example, who may work in hospital, and they would have to work late shifts, and perhaps, you know, wintertime, people would come home and the roads would be stormy, be an absolute mess, and it's always good to have someone who's willing to pick up the other end of the phone call late in the night and early into the morning, which is always important.
Yes, it is. Now, traditionally, the councillor that gets the highest votes becomes deputy mayor, but that's always decided in the first meeting that they have who the deputy mayor will be. So.
Absolutely, yep. And there's up to roughly, what was that there? 4,500 eligible bachelors, absolutely. And definitely there's a lot of competition in the mayoral race, and absolutely, we know the results are taking quite a little bit of time to get, but it's always good to have a little bit of suspense.
Yep.
So, yes, I guess that'll be it for now, and we'll tune right back in. What we're
3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Bay Roberts election here, live stream 2017.
Yes.
Absolutely. I saw you cracking up a few moments there ago. My mistake, I said it bachelors. That is incorrect. I meant to say voters. It was a bad night to not wear my glasses.
Well, in Carbonear tonight, they have elected their mayor, and their mayor is Frank Butt. Now, here to weigh in on that is deputy or ex-mayor, deputy mayor, and councillor here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Matthew, Frank Butt winning in Carbonear tonight is probably a bit surprise. Former Mayor Slade was running, and incumbent Mayor George Butt Jr. was also running, and Mr. Frank Butt was the deputy mayor in Carbonear, and he's come up the middle tonight to win the mayoral seat in Carbonear. So I would think that would be a little bit of a surprise to the citizens of Carbonear tonight. Knowing the other two candidates, I would think they're quite disappointed. And congratulations going out to Mayor Frank Butt of Carbonear tonight. And as we go along here this evening, while we're awaiting results, we're going to try to update you on some of the other results in and around the Conception Bay North area. And that's the first result we've got. But as we go along tonight, we're going to try to keep everybody posted on what's happening throughout Conception Bay North.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sir. And we certainly wish Mr. Butt well.
We
Absolutely,
certainly do.
yes. And a huge congratulations to him.
We're going to get Gavin to call North River now in a minute and find out about the results in North River, his home community, and we'll get Matthew to call for his home community, and we should have results here pretty soon about all the communities through Conception Bay North.
Absolutely, and thank you very much for again joining us, and we hope we'll get some results soon.
We're hoping for results, and it's probably a good sign, guys.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's probably a good sign that there's been a good turnout today, and we should thank the voters for getting out.
Certainly, yes.
We've heard a lot about complacency and people not getting out to vote, and the concern of people not getting out to vote. But maybe today, because while we're here, it's still at 9:20, and the polls have been closed for an hour and 20 minutes now. Maybe it's a result of lots of people getting out to vote, and that's good for everybody.
Yes, certainly.
Absolutely.
And we'll have your results very soon. Thank you. Don't go anywhere. We'll have your results in shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the live stream of the 2017 Bay Roberts election. We have some news coming in from Placentia. We received it about 10 minutes ago. Currently, Bernard Power is leading over Wayne Power. It's 51 to 18, so huge difference there.
Yes, that could be Mr. Bernard Power's home vote too.
Absolutely, yep. And again, here we have the legend himself, Mr. Glenn Littlejohn, back in here to talk about his opinion on that.
Well, that's an early result, guys, and Bernard Power leading Wayne Power. The incumbent is Wayne Power, so that could be an upset in the making in Placentia tonight. But again, only one poll. We don't know where the poll came from, and it's hard to make any kind of decision or conclusion based on one poll. But if that trend continues, it looks like the town of Placentia may have a new mayor tonight.
Absolutely, yeah.
Certainly, yes.
And as we go along, we'll be bringing you some other results. We're hearing doors opening and closing, so we're hoping that means there are people coming in with ballot boxes and numbers and all the rest, and we can start to give you the results from here in the town of Bay Roberts tonight. There's been a big turnout, they say, gentlemen.
Absolutely,
Yes,
yep.
certainly,
Which is always good, yeah.
Yeah, there's been a big turnout today, and we're hoping that we're hoping to get some of those results to you. But in the meantime, we are tracking results in other neighboring communities and communities throughout Trinity Conception Placentia. And when we get those results, while we're waiting for ours, we'll bring those to you as well.
Absolutely.
Certainly, yes.
Well, thank you for joining us again, Mr. Littlejohn. Well, I guess I'll say my catchphrase, I guess now I'll call it. We'll be right back, hopefully with results from anywhere, really, from the neighboring communities and whatnot. So again, stay tuned.
and with high turnout, that shows that it might be a sign for change in the community.
Absolutely, yeah, with a huge turnout, probably the biggest. Absolutely, a
Yes,
huge turnout.
because and the advance poll had 498
Mm-hmm.
voters, so that was the biggest we've seen in forever.
And
really.
over 4,500 eligible voters. Mm-hmm.
Certainly.
So, yes, again, we'll keep the news coming to you from all over the place. So, again, for those of you watching, stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Bay Roberts election live stream 2017. My partner in crime is gone again. He's currently gone to receive the news about the results as they have been counted up, and we're just waiting for the news. And before we continue, we have some news here from Harbor Grace. Don Coombs is leading with 263 votes for mayor, and again we have Mr. Littlejohn here to discuss that.
Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, Mr. Don Coombs was a former mayor of Harbor Grace, and he threw his hat in the ring again. And the early result in Harbor Grace has Mr. Coombs leading present Mayor Terry Barnes and Councillor Gord Stone. If that trend continues, it looks like Mr. Coombs will regain the mayor's seat in Harbour Grace. But again, results are early, Gavin, and those things can change.
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
as I said earlier, it depends on where those results are from.
Absolutely.
And that could be Mr. Coombs' strength and not the strength of Councillor Stone or President Mayor Barnes. So, but interesting to know that there has been nearly 400 votes cast in Harbour Grace, and
Absolutely, yeah.
Mr. Coombs has got the early lead.
And that's always good to hear. Good to, as I mentioned, we will try to get any news from around the area to you as quickly as possible. And our results will soon be in shortly. As we know, you're all anxious out there. You're on the tips of your toes waiting for the results. But ladies and gentlemen, I assure you they're coming to you.
Well, once we get them, Gavin, I think they will come fast and furious, and we should have some results very, very soon. We've been told that the results are being called in, and as soon as we get those results, we're going to get them out to you, and we'll start discussing the trends that are going to take place, and when the time comes, we may even make some bold predictions.
Absolutely, yep.
And as we go forward here this evening, Gavin, it'll be interesting to see with all the with some of the votes already. We said Mayor Coombs is leading in Harbour Grace. We're saying that Mr. Byrne, or former Mayor Coombs, is leading in Harbour Grace, and as well we're talking about Mr. Power and Placentia leading the present mayor. So is that a trend?
Absolutely.
And we have a new mayor in Carbonear.
Absolutely.
So new is in at the moment. So
Yep.
will the town of Bay Roberts follow that lead tonight?
Hopefully, yep. We'll get those results to you as soon as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking around. We know it's been a short time, long time. But again, we will make sure we get those results to you as soon as we can. And again, Mr. Littlejohn, thank you for joining us again.
Thank you. Thank you, Gavin.
And again, we will be back in a short period of time, hopefully with those results. And again, as always, stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 2017 election. Here, our live stream. And ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for early results, and my partner in crime has joined us again. And drum roll, time for the early results.
And now we'll start with the mayors. We have Division 7, which is Country Road and Sawdust Road. George Simmons has 41, and Philip Wood has 96 for Division 7. Now on to councilors. We have Silas Badcock has 63 votes. Danny Butler has 24. Jake Collins has 29. Charlene Daw Roach has 44. Frank Deering has 67. Gerald Fenmore has 41. Jim Francis has 18. Dean Franey has 61. Travis Howell has 47. James Murphy has 16. Wade Oates has 72. Jeff Seymour has 68. And Walter Getman has 92. Again, this is Division 7, Country Road and Sawdust Road.
Division 4 as well. Matthew?
Oh, Division 4
Division
is
4. We've got news in from Division 4 as well. Thank you, Mr. Littlejohn.
So for Division 4, George Simmons in the mayors has 76, and Philip Wood has 190.
Wow.
And for Division 4, it's Barracks Lane up to and including the highway from Powell's to Shearstown. Silas Badcock has 126. Danny Butler has 26. Jake Collins has 46. Charlene Daw Roach has 64. Frank Deering has 142. Gerald Fenmore has 44. Jim Francis has 22. Dean Franey has 140. Travis Howell has 63. James Murphy has 11. Wade Oates has 171. Jeff Seymour has 104. And Walter Yetman has 189.
Wow. Some absolutely fascinating news. And we're going to take a little break now, and when we come back, we're going to have Mr. Glenn Littlejohn back again for his opinion on these early results.
And
So,
if there are any more results, we'll read them out to you when we come back.
absolutely. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the live stream of the Bay Roberts election 2017. We have some more results for you. We have results from Division 9 and Division 10, which would consist of the Shearstown Road from the Veterans Overpass to the Butlerville Bridge, and Division 10 from Butlerville Bridge in.
All right, so for we'll start with our totals. The total for the mayors: Philip Wood with 444, and George Simmons with 296. Again, these are the totals.
Yeah.
And the top 6 councilors for Bay Roberts. First is Walter Getman with 356. Second is Travis Howell with 343. Third is Dean Franey with 331. Fourth is Jeff Seymour with 329. Fifth is Wade Oates with 302. And sixth is Silas Badcock with 292.
Wow, some really interesting results there, Matthew. And here to discuss the current results that we have is, again, our Mr. Glenn Littlejohn. And ladies and gentlemen, he's back. So, Mr. Littlejohn, obviously some very surprising results. What is your opinion on them?
Well, a little bit surprised in the gap between Mayor Wood and George Simmons at this point, but again, we've only got 4 polls or 4 divisions of 10 reporting, and but again, Mayor Wood has now has got a 150 vote lead with 4 polls in, and that's a sizable lead. But we'll see if that trend continues with the next few polls. In the councillor race, interesting. We have a group of interesting councillors right now. Deputy Mayor Walter Getman is still maintaining the position of first place after 4 of 10 polls, and that bodes well for Councillor Getman. Councillor Oates, although he's in 5th place with 302, that bodes well, I think, for Councillor Oates in his re-election campaign, and as well for Councillor Dean Franey, who is presently in 3rd place with 331 votes. I would think all the incumbents right now are pretty pleased. The only incumbent that I wouldn't think would be very happy right now is Miss Charlene Daw Roach, but her strengths are yet to come, and that would be the Coley's Point area. Mrs. Daw Roach is from Coley's Point, and I would think her results will become much better when we get results coming in from Divisions 5 and 6, and she should make a climb up the polls at that time. If we're looking at it today, we'd have 3 new councillors in the chamber. Silas Badcock is polling a consistent vote, a strong vote across the board. As well, Travis Howell. Travis is a fireman and a construction worker here in the town, and Travis has polled a nice vote across the board at this point in time. So some interesting results. And Jeff Seymour. Jeff the last time ran for mayor. This time running for a council seat in a very strong position with 329 votes. So right now, the results pretty much as I would think they would have turned out at this early stage. And again, we've only got 4 of 10 divisions reporting, and we don't have any reports from Barracks Road, Bay Roberts East up to the Crossroads, or the Crossroads to Barracks Lane. And I would think that would be a strong area for councillor or potential councillors like Frank Deering would do well there. Councillor Oates could do well there. So will Deputy Mayor Getman. And I would think that Jeff Seymour would probably expect to have a good vote there as well, because he now lives in that region as well. And Councillor Franey. So as we go along this evening, I think we're going to have a little bit of movement in terms of what councillors are. But again, it's still early. We have 6 polls to come, and we have no polls from Coley's Point, and we have no polls from Bay Roberts proper. So that will probably be the determining factors in the result tonight.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you again.
Thank you
Thank
again.
you.
Having questions, and we'll be back very shortly with even more results as they come in fast and furious.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, keep your computer screen on, keep your phone on. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the results flying in. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 2017 live stream of the Bay Roberts election here. And results, and more results. We have them flying in. And here we have my trusty sidekick, Matthew, will read out the results for us.
Thanks. So Division 6, which is Coley's Point, North Road and Neck Road, have come in, and we're going to read out the totals since then. So in first, start off with the councillors, is Walter Yetman with 524. Second is Silas Badcock with 454. Third is Dean Franey with 445. Fourth is Wade Oates with 403. Fifth is Jeff Seymour with 401. And sixth is Frank Deering with 400, And Travis Howell is out by one vote with 399, so we'll see if that can change.
Wow,
And
wow,
now
wow.
on to the mayors. Philip Wood is first with 590.
Wow.
And George Simmons is in second with 398.
Absolutely, yeah, things are changing by the second, aren't
Yes, they are, with
Mhm.
every division.
Absolutely, yes. And I guess we'll have Mr. Littlejohn back in here to discuss the current results.
Yes.
Not anything earth-shattering at this point, guys. Mayor Wood has increased his lead with those polls in from Division 6. He now nearly has a 200 vote lead over Councillor Simmons, so Mayor Wood is increasing his lead. We have after polls, after divisions reporting now, and Mayor Wood has had a sizable lead. But again, polls to come, and I know that Councillor Simmons was really looking forward to the Shearstown poll that's left to come, Division 8, and we'll see if those things change. The councillor race is shaping up to be a very close one. Right now we have basically 6, 7, 8 candidates within 50 votes of each other. If we go down to Danny Butler at 354, Travis Howell is at 399, Frank Deering is at 400, Jeff Seymour is 401, Wade Oates is 403. So a very, very tight race for those last couple of councillor spots. Deputy Mayor Yetman is still well out in front at 524, some 70 votes ahead of his nearest competition at this point, Silas Badcock at 454. So again, going to be a long night, 5 polls to come. The advanced poll may decide this when it's all said and done, guys. But some interesting numbers out there, and I know some councillors are very anxious to see certain divisions come in to see exactly how they did this evening.
Indeed.
Yes, sir. Certainly.
Perfect. Well, thank you for this update with us, and we'll be right back when we have even more results and even more news for the public.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
5,
Ready.
4,
4.
3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 2017 election here at Bay Roberts, our live stream. We're back again, and we have some results coming in from all over the place. We've got some big news coming in from Harbor Grace. It has been confirmed that Don Coombs has been elected mayor. And we now have our councilors that follow in this order. We in Carbonear, these are the ones for Carbonear. We have Chris O'Grady, Amanda Hoolan, Daniel Doyle, Chess Ash, Vic Jenkins, and Ray Knoll. And we also have some results in for the Bay Roberts area, which is currently the division
5.
5. Yes,
We've got
division.
updated totals.
Yes.
So we'll start with
The
mayors.
updated totals. Yes, I'll have my person who's doing all the reading for tonight. Good on you, Matt, by the way.
Thanks.
I'll tell you. I didn't bring my glasses tonight, so you got 20/20 vision. You're doing all the work for me.
Appreciate it. 15, 20. We got Philip Wood first with 728, and George Simmons with 470.
Amazing, yep.
So moving on to the councilors, and first, staying strong, is Walter Yetman with 665. Second is Silas Badcock with 576. Third is Dean Franey with 542. Fourth is Frank Deering with 512. Fifth is Wade Oates with 510. And sixth is Jeff Seymour with 483. And here to weigh on these totals is former mayor, deputy mayor, and councilor.
Mr. Glenn
Mr.
Littlejohn,
Glenn
welcome
Littlejohn.
back, sir.
Excuse me.
Thank you, Matthew. It's been a long night. We've been waiting so long for results that we've nearly forgot.
Yes.
Mayor Wood continues to increase his lead on Councillor Simmons, which is interesting. But again, we've only got half the polls reporting, half the divisions reporting, so too early to make a call there. But Mayor Wood has been steadily increasing his lead over Councillor Simmons throughout each poll to this point. In the battle for the council seats, it looks like to me that there's a battle. There are 7 individuals for 6 seats. Jeff Seymour presently is in 6th place at 483, 30 votes ahead of Travis Howell at 453. But it seems that as the votes come in, that there's a lot of distance between those top 7 and the rest of the field. So I'm just wondering, I'm pretty sure that 6 of those 7 potential candidates probably will end up in the council seats. That means that there will be 3 incumbent candidates win tonight, and we would have 3 new councillors. And at this point in the proceedings, that's where everything looks. Danny Butler is at 375. Jake Collins is at 178. Charlene Dar-Roach, the incumbent councillor, is at 334. Gerald Fenmore is polling 244. Jim Francis has 110. And James Murphy has 82. So again, there is some distance between the top 7 and the rest of the field at this point. So as the evening goes on, I think we can soon call some of these people elected. But just another poll or two, I think, guys, before we venture out into that field. What do you think, Gavin?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
it's been definitely intense. We know it's been a little while trying to get the results in, but we have them now, and it's good to see that we have a strong lead in some people.
And Gavin, just to go over it again, Walter Yetman is leading the polls after 5 polls with 665 votes, followed by Silas Betcock at 576, followed by Dean Franey at 542, followed by Frank Deering at 512, followed by Wade Oates at 510, and holding on to the last seat at this particular point in time is Jeff Seymour with 483. Tight battle though, guys.
Oh, yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
very.
Yeah,
And we have
indeed.
lots of polls to come. And again, as we said early in the program, we have the advanced poll coming, 498 votes, and that could certainly change things in a lot of ways. That's a lot of votes to be counted, and the advanced poll may decide who are the councillors and mayor in this town tonight.
Yes,
Mm.
sir. And I want to give another thanks to all the people behind the scenes making this happen. It couldn't be
Absolutely.
possible without them.
Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to take another little break, and once we get the next results in, we'll be back as soon as we can. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I always say, stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back again with our 2017 live stream of the Bay Roberts election. Matthew has just gone to check on the results now, but here we have Mr. Glenn Littlejohn back again to talk about the results I read previously about the results in Harbor Grace and Carbonear. So what would be your weigh-in on that?
Well, a little bit of a surprise tonight. The re-election of former Mayor Don Coombs in Harbor Grace. Don put his name back in the ring a little while ago, and tonight been successful in being re-elected in the town of Harbor Grace, beating incumbent Mayor Terry Burns and Councillor Gordon Stone. Don is back in the chair after being absent for 4 years, and we want to congratulate Don on his success tonight in Harbor Grace. And Gavin, in Carbonear.
Absolutely. As follows, for the councillors, we had Chris O'Grady, we had Amanda Hoolan, we had Daniel Doyle, we had Chess Ash, Vic Jenkins, and Ray Knoll.
And we've got pretty much a clean slate in Carbonear. The only incumbent to keep his seat tonight in Carbonear is Ray Knoll. There are 5 new councillors and a brand new mayor. Now, the mayor was the deputy mayor, Frank Butt, but Frank was successful tonight in becoming mayor, and we have 5 new councillors in the town of Carbonear: Chris O'Grady, Amanda Hoolan, Daniel Doyle, Chess Ash. Chess was a former deputy mayor in the town of Carbonear and back on council tonight, and Vic Jenkins, and I believe Vic was a former employee there as well, Gavin. So wholesale change in Carbonear.
Absolutely, yep. It's fantastic to finally see the results, and a big congratulations to the people, especially Mr. Don Coombs, Mayor Don Coombs. It's great to see him back again, and of course, we're getting the results in as quickly as possible, and we'll
it looks like, Gavin, with the early results here in the town of Bay Roberts, we could have 3 new councillors in the town of Bay Roberts tonight.
Absolutely, yep.
If the trend continues.
If the trend continues, absolutely. And again, I'd like to thank you for joining us again, and we will be back hopefully for more results with Bay Roberts.
It's the perfect time to fall in love with Bay Roberts. From September 15th to November 12th, enjoy so many unique activities from the Towntons and Tunes walking tour to NL Barbecue Chef Challenge and everything in between. For complete information, visit bayroberts.com. We will resume with our results in a minute, and thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the live stream of the 2017 Bay Roberts election. I am back, and Matthew just did a few little advertisements for us here, but we do have more results. So Matthew, I'm going to let my partner in crime here read them out for you.
That's right. We'll start with the mayors. The total for Philip Wood now is 870, and George Simmons with 636.
Wow.
Again, those are the mayors. We'll go to the councilors now. First is Walter Yetman with 780. Second is Dean Franey with 681. Third is Silas Badcock with 674. Fourth is Jeff Seymour with 642. Fifth is Frank Deering with 630. And sixth is Travis Howell with 629.
Perfect. And again, we will have our special guest, Mr. Glenn Littlejohn, back in to give us his weigh-in.
Guys, a little bit of a change. Travis Howell with Division 8 reporting. Travis Howell has now taken over 6th spot, and incumbent Councillor Wade Oates trails Travis Howell by 23 votes for the final seat on council. Once again, the gap between the top 6 or 7 is still significant. We have Danny Butler with 511. We have Jake Collins with 245. Charlene Daw Roach at 377. Gerald Fenmore is polling 304 votes. Jim Francis 126, and James Murphy at 91. But again, there's a clear sign that the race for the council seat tonight is between 7 individuals: Silas Bedcock, Frank Deering, Dean Franey, Travis Howell, Wade Oates, Jeff Seymour, and Walter Yetman. It looks like Deputy Mayor Yetman will hold on to his Deputy Mayor's position, and he's been leading the polls since the first poll tonight.
That's
and
true.
He continues to lead throughout even 7 polls reporting.
Yes, sir.
In the race for the mayor, Mayor Wood continues to lead the challenger, Councillor Simmons, by some 240 votes. And we have 3 polls to report. We have the advance poll, which we all know is a huge poll, guys, and could tilt the scales one way or the other,
You could.
particularly in the council race, because if we look at the numbers, they are fairly close. There's only 40 votes separating positions 2 through 6, so a very close race going on there, and a huge poll like the advance poll could certainly change that in a hurry.
That's very true.
And the other two polls that have yet to report tonight are Division 2, and that's Bay Roberts East up to, but not including the crossroads. That's where we're to tonight here in the cable building office, so we are in that poll. And in Division 3 would be the crossroads up to, but not including the Barracks Lane. So again, those are the three polls that we're waiting on, and those three polls will certainly determine the outcome of this new council tonight.
Very intense, absolutely.
Yes.
Results absolutely coming in by the minute. Ladies and gentlemen, that will be it for now. Once we get more results in, we will have them to you ASAP. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, stay tuned.
Three, two, one.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the live stream of the Bay Roberts election 2017. We know it's getting a little late in the night, but results are still flying in. We have results from Division 3, and currently for the total for the mayors, we have George Simmons, who has 753 votes, and we have Philip Wood, who is leading with 1,021 votes.
Quite a jump.
Absolutely.
Moving on to the councilors. And first we have Walter Getman with 948. Second we have Frank Deering with 803. Third is Silas Badcock with 796. Fourth is Dean Franey with 793. Fifth is Jeff Seymour with 749. And sixth is Wade Oates with 740. Now there's been quite a jump between these, so we'll get our professional in to
We'll get our
talk about them.
professional in to give us his opinion.
Once again, guys, we see a flip-flop between Travis Howell. Travis Howell was in the last poll, and now he trails the sixth place Councillor Oates, incumbent Councillor Oates, by about 34 votes. So again, we're going back and forth here. The lead for the 7 councillors for 6 seats continues to increase over the rest of the field. We're waiting for 2 polls to report. The advance poll, which we know had 498 vote cast, and the Division 2 poll, which is the Bay Roberts East, up to but not including the Crossroads, and that's where we're located tonight here in that particular poll. So right now, I would think that it would be safe to say that Deputy Mayor Yetman would be re-elected. So we'll say the Bay Roberts election desk re-elects Deputy Mayor Yetman, and I think we want to send out our congratulations to him.
Certainly,
Absolutely.
yes.
Big congratulations.
In the mayor's race, Mayor Wood continues to lead Councillor Simmons by just over 250 votes, but both the advance poll and the Bay Roberts East poll is to come. Mayor Wood has been kind of maintaining a 250 vote lead consistently throughout the night, but again, 2 big polls to come, and too early to call that one as well. But I think it's safe that the election desk can call Deputy Mayor Yetman will have a seat on the Bay Roberts Council.
Certainly, yes. We want to give a big congratulations to him.
Yes, we congratulate Deputy Mayor Yetman on his re-election. And as we go forward, guys, we'll be in a few minutes, but it's been an interesting night.
It has.
What's
Certainly,
your thoughts on it?
Definitely, it's been a bit of a long night, but a very prosperous one. You know, it's good to see some new faces on the council and some old ones who definitely came back. And it's always good to see familiar faces and new faces. So absolutely, I thank you all for who are still watching. I know it's getting a little late in the night, but I thank you, me and Matthew. We both thank you for tuning in for this long. Keep your cup of coffee in hand because there's more results to come. Stay tuned. ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Bay Roberts election live stream 2017. As of now, we don't have any results in, but again, we're going to announce some stuff that we previously said. But for those of you who are tuning in now, I'll have my associate read some of our redundant material.
Mr. CEO. So tonight, it's guaranteed that there is at least 2 new councilors where Bill Seymour retired and George Simmons is running for mayor.
Yeah.
It's been very busy at the polls all day.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Oh, it's crazy, especially a peak at around supper time. But
Oh, yeah.
this is a show of large voter turnout, so this could mean it's a sign for change.
Absolutely. And again, we mentioned a lot earlier on in the program that the campaign has been absolutely fantastic. We've had the candidates using social media and definitely doing the old-fashioned method, with some of the older generation, with definitely going around the community.
Door to door.
Door to door,
Yes.
pamphlets and whatnot, asking people, what their opinion is and what they think should be done with the town of Bay Roberts. And definitely, it's always good to have their opinion, because that's basically what this is all about. This is all about for the people of the community and what they desire and what they'd like to have done, and trying to make that possible.
Yes, well, this is good because it shows that the councilors want to make an effort and want to. They obviously care about their community.
Indeed,
So
yeah, and that's a sign of a good group of candidates, people who are really determined to help make Bay Roberts a better place. Not that it isn't a good place already. Bay Roberts is beautiful, but absolutely, it's always good to see people, familiar faces, faces we've seen before, come in and definitely try and get on the committee, the council, and definitely attempt to make Bay Roberts, better place, and definitely improve upon things that that we could improve on. Definitely.
yes, well, certainly you could vote 1 mayor and up to 6 councilors.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that will make a big difference
Oh,
in
yeah.
the final numbers
and the
as
final
well.
numbers.
Yes, and we're expecting the advance poll to make a big flip in for them at least
Yeah.
some of the councilors' positions, because there was a total of 498 on the advance poll turnout. So
Yep, the voters.
that was
Yep.
fantastic. So
Absolutely, and I keep saying absolutely, but I can't emphasize the fact that it's such an intense campaign, and
It is, yes.
it's really nice to get the results. And I know people are probably sitting at home, probably falling asleep, but caffeine rush is good enough for me. Finding all this stuff out. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Bay Roberts Election Livestream 2017, and boy oh boy do we have news.
The advanced polls are in. So starting with the mayors. Philip Wood stands tall with 1,350 votes, and George Simmons stands with 920.
Wow.
The Bay Roberts election desk declares Philip Wood re-elected.
Ladies and gentlemen, that will be that. And here, I think we have our special guest again this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Glenn Littlejohn.
We'll get him to read out the councillor totals.
Thank you, Matthew, and yes, congratulations to Mayor Wood on his re-election this evening. It's been he's had a steady increase all night. You know, the polls have been going his way all night, and I think it's safe to say that we can call Mayor Wood re-elected, and congratulations to Mayor Wood on another term as mayor of the town of Bay Roberts.
Yes, certainly.
Here in the results for councillors, Walter Yetman is continuing to lead the polls with 1,233 votes. He's followed by Frank Deering at 1,051, who's followed by Silas Bedcock at 1,038, who's followed by Dean Franey at 999, followed by Wade Oates at 978, and holding on to the sixth and final seat is Jeff Seymour at 928. With one poll remaining, guys, Jeff Seymour holds a 88 vote lead, just about over his nearest opponent, Travis Howell. And I would probably predict that these six individuals will become the new councillors of the town of Bay Roberts. And I think, do we want to declare them elected, Matthew?
I don't think yet.
No, I don't think. Yeah, it's a
We have
pretty
no
strong
consensus here, so I guess they're not elected yet. You're going to have to hold on to your hats, guys. But at this particular point in time, it looks like Yetman, Seymour, Oates, Franey, Deering, and Bedcock will be the next six councillors in the town of Bay Roberts. Polling solid numbers tonight. Danny Butler had 636 votes to this point. Jake Collins has 419. Charlene Dar Roach, 583. Gerald Fenmore, 448. Jim Francis, 248. James Murphy, 143. And Travis Howell continues to be in seventh place, trailing Jeff Seymour by some 80 votes at 840. So what do you think, guys?
Well, I think it's been a fantastic evening. Definitely a lot of results. Again, some old faces we've seen before, and again, some new faces. And it's always good to see a bit of mixture there. And we hope that definitely these new candidates, these new elects, will hopefully do the best they can to definitely do the best for the community of Bay Roberts.
Certainly will, and it looks like there's going to be 3 incumbents and 3 new councillors on council with the re-elected mayor, Mayor Wood. And again, as we talked about earlier tonight, we said that you would need 1,000 votes to become a member of council, and right now with one poll remaining, the lowest vote total is 928. So again, the 1,000 vote mark was pretty accurate, and before the night's over, I would think that most councillors will be very close or over that number.
And I think we can declare Walter Yetman re-elected for deputy mayor.
I think I think that's a good decision, Matthew.
Yep, good assumption, yeah.
But anyway, we have one poll remaining, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Bay Roberts East poll. It goes up to and includes, but doesn't include the Crossroads. And as soon as those results come in, we'll give them to you and we'll recap tonight.
I'm like the little doll with the string. Now you pull me. Stay tuned.
3, 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have news from Spaniards Bay and Carbonear about the elections.
In Carbonear, it has been confirmed that Frank Butt is the mayor, and Ray Knoll is the first council, followed by Daniel Doyle, Amanda Hullen, Chris O'Grady, Vic Jenkins, and David Kennedy. And news from Spaniards Bay, Paul Brazel is in the lead for mayor.
It's very interesting now.
Very interesting news indeed. We don't have results from the last poll yet, but we will get them to you as soon as possible. After that last poll, we will have Mr. Glenn Littlejohn in one more time, and that will be it for this evening.
Yeah.
So, again, stay tuned.
Five, four,
Okay.
3, 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back for the Bay Roberts election live stream 2017. Still no word from the last poll, but in the meantime, we will get our special guest, Mr. Glenn Littlejohn, back to talk about the results for Carbonear.
Interesting result tonight in Carbonear. It looks like Carbonear will have a new mayor. The former deputy mayor, Frank Butt, will be the new mayor of Carbonear. And looking through the list right now, in the final poll, there's 2 incumbent councillors, only 2 incumbent councillors coming back, and that would be Ray Knoll and David Kennedy. And there's a former councillor in Chess Ash coming back, but they have 3 new candidates in Carbonear. I'm sorry, yes, Chess Ash is out. Vic Jenkins, Chris O'Grady, and Amanda Hullen, and Daniel Doyle. Congratulations to them, 4 new councillors in Carbonear tonight. Here in Bay Roberts, it looks like we're going to have 3 new councillors sitting with 3 incumbents, and so there's been change. I
There
think we
certainly
can
has,
say there
yes.
has been change tonight. Anytime you return more than half your council with new blood, there has been change.
Indeed, yep.
Yeah.
And as we await the final poll in Bay for the Bay Roberts municipal election, it's been a long night. We've been here now for, well over nearly 3 hours, and we've had a great time doing it. And I want to thank Matthew and Gavin. I want to thank you for having me tonight.
Yeah, with a big thank you for coming tonight to
Yes.
help us give us your weigh-in and your opinion.
And it's been a lot of fun doing this, and hopefully we can do it again sometime.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Definitely.
indeed.
And as we await the results, it looks like Paul Brazel is leading the race for mayor in Spaniards Bay. There are still polls to come in Spangers Bay. It seems to be a tight race for the final council spot as well in Spangers Bay. The last time I looked on the Twitterverse, there was a tie. So everything seems to be pretty close in all the communities throughout Conception Bay North tonight.
Yes, sir. It does seem that way.
Well, thank you very much, and hopefully we'll be back with that last poll and the final results.
Hopefully.
And we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. introduce. Welcome back to the 2017 election of Bay Roberts. Here with us now is Mr. Glenn Littlejohn.
He's
to-
returning. No results from the last poll yet, but we're hoping to get those ASAP.
And as we await the last poll, we'll just remind viewers of the results. At present, waiting the last poll, Mayor Philip Wood is presently leading Councillor George Simmons, 1,021 to 753. In the race for the 6 council seats here in the town of Bay Roberts tonight, we've had a hotly contested battle between 7 candidates for 6 seats, and we'll just go through those 7 right now. We have Councillor Walter Yetman and Councillor Jeff Seymour, Councillor Wade Oates, I shouldn't say councillor, I should say candidates, Jeff Seymour, Wade Oates, Travis Howell, Frank Deering, and Silas Bedcock, and Dean Franey. And they've been going back and forth all night here tonight. Jostling for position, is that a good word to use, guys?
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, and as the polls say right now, President Deputy Mayor Walter Yetman continues to lead the polls at 1,233 votes, and he's followed by Frank Deering with 1,051. Silas Bedcock, a newcomer to politics, is at 1,038. In 4th place is President Councillor Dean Franey at 999. President Councillor Wade Oates is in 5th place at 978. And holding down the 6th and final place here for the town of Bay Roberts is Jeff Seymour at 928. And the closest competitor at this point, guys, is Travis Howell, and he's got 840 votes. So, looking at where the vote is coming from and all the rest, I think it's safe to say that the 6 people that are presently in the 6 council positions will probably be, most likely be the new councillors for the town of Bay Roberts this evening. And as we await the poll, usually the Bay Roberts East poll is a fairly large poll, and I guess it's taking some time to count it, and obviously they want to get it right. It's important that you get the right numbers and all the rest, so they're certainly taking their time and making sure that the numbers for the final poll are right. And as we go forward, it's been a long evening, and I want to say thanks to you guys. You've made this a lot of fun tonight, and to Ryan and David and the guys behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
I think,
to the guys behind the scenes.
I think they've done a lot of work. I'm sorry, I don't know the other 2 guys' names, so maybe you can help me here, guys.
Well, thanks to Arnold and Cameron.
Arnold
There
and
we go.
Cameron
Arnold and
behind the
Cameron and
camera,
Ryan
yeah.
and David have been behind the scenes all night, keeping us on air, and
Keeping us in shape, yeah.
and every now and again we have volume problems, and we can blame that on who, Gavin?
No, we can blame that on. Now I likes David, so but I mean, he's a good fella, but
You
what?
can't be picking favorites here.
Oh no, I'm
It's
just gonna
David's
say,
fault.
I'll blame Ali in general,
It's-
but that's it. That's it.
No, and we've had a great night, and I don't know, but we'll hang around a little while longer and see if we can find this final result. And once we have the final result, we'll come back with the last poll and give it to you.
All right, fantastic.
Thank you, and ladies and gentlemen, we will return for the last poll.
Stay tuned.
1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Bay Roberts Election 2017 live stream, and the time has come. The final poll is in, and Matthew, why don't you do the honors and read the results we've all been waiting for.
I will.
The final results. This is it.
We'll start with the mayors. Philip Wood is mayor with 1,580. George Simmons trailing behind with 1,073. Congratulations to Philip Wood.
Special congratulations.
The final councillors of Bay Roberts are, and first we have Walter Yetman with 1,459. Second is Frank Deering with 1,253. Silas Badcock with 1,244. Followed by Wade Oates with 1,171. And fifth, Dean Franey with 1,127. And last but not least, Jeff Seymour with 1,085 votes. There are your councillors and your mayor for the 2017 election.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will call our special guest in one last time to give us his final professional input.
You are, sir?
I don't know about professional input, but it's been a long night, and I want to congratulate Mayor Wood on his re-election, and I want to congratulate the new council, Councillor Yetman, Councillor Seymour, Councillor Oates, Councillor Deering, and Councillor Badcock, and Councillor Franey. Kind of after we got through the first 5 or 6 polls, it kind of worked out this way, and we saw certainly a trend, and these individuals continue to accumulate votes and build their leads as we went through the night. And we have a new council in Bay Roberts. We have 3 incumbent councillors, and we have 3 new councillors coming into the fray. So that's always good. That brings new energy, new ideas, new life. And to Mayor Wood on his re-election, congratulations. To Councillor Simmons, I want to thank him for his dedication and hard work. And you know, it takes a lot of effort to go out and put your name forward for mayor, and I want to congratulate Councillor Simmons tonight as well. I want to thank former Councillor Charlene Dar-Roach for the work that she's put in over the last 4 years. It's not easy. It takes a lot of time and dedication, and I want to thank all the individuals, past and present, on the council. And again, congratulations to our councillors, and it's been a great evening. Thank you, guys. It's been a privilege to work with all of you, and maybe we can do it again sometime.
Hopefully.
Have a great night, and you can wrap it up.
Well, before we sign off, a few little special thanks to Ascension Collegiate, who helped us out with this tonight, especially Mr. Paul Goss. And we'd like to give a special thanks to Eastlink TV of Bay Roberts and the town of Bay Roberts, and especially to the guys working behind the scenes who make all this possible, and for Mr. Glenn Littlejohn, who joined us here tonight to give us his professional input. And I think that about wraps it up for the 2017 election.
Yes, thank you very much to everybody. And it's been a fantastic night. Congratulations to everybody who got in council. And good night, everybody. Sleep well.
And hopefully we'll be back a few years' time, so stay tuned.
In 4 years.
Absolutely.